So for this video, we're going to take a look at converting areas and volumes. Not the kind of volume where you talk louder. Volume's kind of like, the amount you carry. Sometimes how dense it is. Sometimes how much you spill. Alright, for area, you're going to need to convert any length measure twice. So, a for instance would be if you were trying to convert, say, square inches to square centimeters, I'd have to start with an inch conversion. So there's 1 inch in each 2.54 centimeters. I would end up having to do this conversion twice, so that as I multiply straight across, because that's what happens, I get 2 of that type of measurement. So there's going to be 1 square inch for every, and we pull out our handy dandy calculator, 2.54 squared, roughly 6.45 square centimeters. So there's a couple of different ways that you can write it. Some people will tend to see, for example, outside of the sciences, if you happen to be walking through like Home Depot, typically if you are buying carpet, it'll be in square feet and they'll mark it like this. But feet squared means the same thing. So it's probably better recognized as SQFT as square feet. Square yards, same deal. It's just SQYD for square yards. I'm going to guess that for the metric system, centimeters squared, so the little cm and then the little 2 there in the exponent, that's probably where you'll likely see it the most. It's a little, I don't know. I guess I haven't really, as I traveled around the world, I guess I really never paid attention to area measurements. Would not be shocked if that's the way that they write it. But then again, for cubic centimeters, we actually have cc's, and that's, I don't know if that's an American thing or if that's like a kind of universal thing for metric. For volume, you're going to need to convert it 3 times. So if you wanted to go from cubic feet to meters, there are roughly, it's roughly 3.3. I forget exactly, but it's roughly that. I actually convert from inches to centimeters and then through it, but that's a very long conversion. So I'm just going to say there's roughly 39.25 inches. It'd be 2.5, so about 3.29 feet for each 1 meter. If I wanted to go cubic feet to cubic meters, I would have to go 1, 2, 3. And so I would have to take 3.29 and I'd have to raise that to the 3rd power. That would, pardon my phone, that would give me 35.61-ish. So roughly 35.61 cubic feet per cubic meter. So that's how many times you'd have to do it. Volume specific, again, there's going to be some kind of a conversion. For example, and it depends on how deep you want to go into the actual conversion itself. But if we take a look at gallons and liters, the easy conversion is from quarts to liters, but there are roughly, in each gallon, there's roughly 3.79 liters. So some people use 3.8, that sort of thing. So, and then 1 gallon is equal to 231 cubic inches. So there are a ton of conversions out there. I do not expect you to memorize them all. So yeah. All right, let's take some examples here and see if we can't get through this. Now, I'm not going to tend to use the proportion method if you've seen that video. It tends to be extremely long, especially if I've got to convert it 3 times. So I'm going to kind of use this chain method here. I need to convert 12 feet cubed to cubic inches. So I'm starting with 12 cubic feet. And because I'm a length conversion, I'm going to have to do this 3 times. And in each 1 foot, because that's where I'm starting from, there are 12 inches. And there are 12 inches for each 1 foot. And for each 1 foot, there are 12 inches. I have 3 instances of feet, and so therefore I need 3 instances of the conversions. Let's turn this down. So when I do that, I'm going to multiply straight across and then divide each by each piece. So I could go 12 times 12 times 12 times 12 divided by 1 divided by 1 divided by 1. If you put that straight into your calculator, and I don't have one up, of course, because why not? Let me open one up quick. If you go into your calculator and you were to put this in, you can quite literally say it's 12 times 12 times 12 times 12 divided by 1 divided by 1 divided by 1. Go. And that will give you your answer. The order of operations is what plays, in case you were wondering. So I get 2736. So I get 20,736 cubic inches. And so that's the conversion. Some conversions are a little bit nicer, but they're not necessarily straightforward. Very often in these volumetric conversions, you're going to have to convert to a smaller unit. So there is a direct conversion. 1 milliliter, by definition, is equal to 1 cubic centimeter. Again, this might be an American thing, I don't know, but a cc is a cubic centimeter. There's no c for a unit of measure. That's why we can kind of fake it. So convert 15 liters to cubic centimeters. All right, well, I have 15 liters. If I have my example here of units and then deci, centi, milli, there's my milli. I have to go from, come on, it's go yellow. I have to go from the unit, the liter, 1, 2, 3 hops to get to milliliter. So I take my decimal point and I go 1, 2, 3 hops and lay it down. Wherever there's a little dip, put a 0. So there are 15,000 milliliters. That's where I start. There are, for every milliliter, there's 1 cubic centimeter. This is actually a quick, if any of my former students see it, if I go to the pharmacy, and this was happening when my son was quite small, but if I go to the pharmacy, I usually will test a new pharmacy and say, because they'll give it to you and say, oh, well, give them 15 milliliters of this medicine. Say, well, what is that in cubic centimeters? Because that's all I got at home. If they can't do that conversion right away, I'm probably going to be looking for a new pharmacy because it's 1-to-1. So 15,000 milliliters is going to be 15,000 cubic centimeters. That's one of those really nice conversions. Again, metric, fun. American system, not so much. Okay, now I have to refresh myself because I'm trying to. Oh, it's 560. Okay, I had to think about what the conversion was. It's a horrible conversion. See how it's so nice in milliliters and cubic centimeters. In the American system, it's just god awful. So let's go ahead and pick white. We'll get going on this. This is 2.5 acres. Now, everybody knows how many square feet there are in an acre, right? I don't. I have to remember it every single time because I'm like, I ain't memorizing that. So, in 1 acre, there are 43,560 square feet. So, I go ahead, I multiply through. That's going to give me 2.5, come on, 2.5 times 43,560. 108,900. So 108,900 square feet. Now, you might think of like, oh, well, why would you ever do that? And yet, if you go into a very large building, like a Walmart, or where I am in Myers, or Piggly Wiggly if you're down south, that sort of thing, and you ask about the size of the building, they're very likely going to give you that size in square footage. It kind of puts into perspective, if you have a 400,000 square foot warehouse, that's going to be a lot of acreage. It's roughly 4 times that. Roughly 4 times that is, that's 10 acres of lovely storage space. So, some examples of how to convert from volumes and areas. And just keep in mind that if you're converting using a length measurement, so that square foot to the square inch, that sort of thing, you're going to have to do the conversion twice for area, or the conversion 3 times for volume. All right, and hope this helps.